Hey, what's up, guys? This is Rich with Red Phone Video, and today I'm going to talk to you about a movie called Tales from the Darkside. This is the Blu-ray with the slipcover, and I just picked up the 4K from Scream Factory, so I've got that one too, and it's got that original artwork on it, which I love. And I really love this movie. This is a movie I used to watch all the time as a kid. Look at both these covers. I'm just going to show you the covers really quick. So you got this 4K with the slip, and it's got that original artwork, which I love. I love how Scream Factory is doing the original artwork. I know I've said that before in previous videos, but I love the fact that they're going back to the original one sheets. But I do love this artwork too. This was an artist named Laz Marquez, so I really like that artwork too. So I'm definitely going to keep this. And there's a lot of special features on this disc, this Blu-ray, that they ported over to the 4K release. So I do believe the only new special feature you get on the 4K, it looks like you have a new audio commentary with film critics Emily Higgins and Billy Dunham. And of course, on the Blu-ray, you did have the old special features, like you had interviews with director John Harrison. Then you had like the old audio commentary with John Harrison and George Romero. And then theatrical trailer, TV spots, and all that good stuff. And I just got done watching this 4K, and this thing looks phenomenal. And I'm not just saying that. It's been years since I've seen this movie, so I don't know if that's got anything to do with it, the fact that I haven't watched it in a long time. But I was really blown away by the contrast, like the high contrast look. The grain detail was really nice. They went back to the original camera negative on this thing. And this movie was filmed in some of the segments. It looks a lot like an old film noir. So you definitely, there's a lot of detail in the shadows that I picked up on. And of course, everything was crystal clear. Like in the wraparound segment with Debbie Harry, you can clearly see a lot of the detail in her kitchen. And just, the story with Lot 249, there was a lot of detail in that I'd never picked up on before, like details with the mummy. And of course, like a lot of the special effects, it seems like back in the day, they used to really know how to light these movies. Like they lit them perfectly. Like you can see the details of the mummy, but it doesn't look too corny. And the same thing with, the third tale, Lover's Vow. You see some of the details with the gargoyle, but they lit the fucking scene so well that it doesn't look corny, because a lot of the times when they restore these old movies and they give them these great 4K transfers, you can pick up on a lot of the imperfections because, of course, we all know in a lot of cases they didn't think these movies would come out looking this pristine, but no, this movie holds up. Definitely, the transfer is it's awesome, and I would say definitely pick up Tales from the Darkside, the 4K from Scream Factory. This to me is it's the unofficial Creepshow 3. Tom Savini has said it before, and I'll just say it again. This is Creepshow 3. Like, fuck the Creepshow 3 that some of you have probably heard about. That movie makes no sense. It's not coherent at all. It doesn't even feel like it's in the same universe. So disregard that Creepshow 3 and pick up Tales from the Darkside instead. Now, I promised myself I wouldn't talk about the movie a whole lot in this video because this is a ranking video. I'm going to rank the 3 tales in the movie, and I'll probably even throw the wraparound segment in there. But real quick, interesting factoid, and I just found this out. Most of you probably won't even know this guy, but he's a friend of mine, a guy named Brian Thomas Norton. I just found out that he is the kid, when the movie opens up, he's the kid on the bicycle. And I've known this guy for a few years now. We met on social media. He's a fellow filmmaker friend of mine. So I just want to give a shout out to Brian Norton. He is the kid on the bicycle when the movie opens up. And I just thought that was an interesting little bit of trivia, because me and this guy have talked for years, and I just completely forgot about him being at the beginning of this movie. But anyway, so the wraparound segment of this movie, you got Deborah Harry, as we all know from Videodrome, and Blondie, the lead singer of Blondie. She's awesome. Debbie Harry, she plays this suburban witch. And she kidnaps a young boy, Timmy, played by Matthew Lawrence, who we all know from Mrs. Doubtfire, of course. And she kidnaps him because she wants to cook him and serve him up to her dinner guests. She's throwing this big dinner party. So Timmy, in an effort to buy himself some time and distract Deborah Harry, he reads her some of the stories from the Tales from the Darkside book because he doesn't want her to fatten him up and eat him. So he starts reading her all these stories from the book. So, and this is the wraparound segment. It's probably my least favorite story because it is a wraparound segment. And most wraparound segments, even though they have cathartic endings and nice little twists, they're not as interesting as the actual tales. So the wraparound segment, probably the most uneventful thing. I do like the way it pays off at the end, but I would have to say it's my least favorite. So if I'm going to include that in the ranking, I would say the wraparound segment definitely falls in at the bottom, number 4. Now, number 3, you got The Cat from Hell, which was based on a Stephen King short story, and I think it was supposed to be included in Creepshow 2 originally, but for budgetary reasons, they couldn't include it in Creepshow 2, so they threw it into Tales from the Darkside. And The Cat from Hell, it was one that I really liked as a kid, and I still like it, but I will say it's kind of gone down further on the list of favorites as the years have progressed. And I feel like, even though I love William Hickey in this segment, and I love David Johansen, from Scrooged, and William Hickey always delivers for me. William Hickey, I can watch him in anything. He was really great in Pritzi's Honor, and of course everybody knows him from National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. William Hickey is awesome. As he plays basically the head of this pharmaceutical company, and he hires a hitman because he's trying to kill this black cat that's wiped out all of his family members and his friends living with him in the estate. William Hickey, his performance is solid. David Johansen's performance is really over the top, and it kind of adds to the whole comical tone of this story. But I will say a lot of the beats keep repeating themselves in the story, and I do like the way it pays off. I mean, the cat, basically the cat, crawls into, spoilers ahead, but the cat crawls into David Johansen's mouth at the end. And similar to how, the cockroaches burst out of E.G. Marshall's chest in Creepshow, this cat, emerges from David Johansen's mouth at the end of the story. And, then William Hickey has a heart attack or whatever. And the story is still entertaining as hell. I love The Cat from Hell. It's a little redundant for my taste, but it's highly entertaining. Compared to the other tales, I just feel like this one is the one that I'm kind of wanting to fly through and be done with. But I still love The Cat from Hell, but as of right now, it falls into number 3 on my ranking. Now, coming in at number 2 is a story called Lot 249. Now, this one is star-studded. It's got Christian Slater. It's got Julianne Moore, who's such a snack in this movie. There's that whole scene where Julianne Moore comes in the leotard, and she just got done working out or some shit, and she's just hot as hell. I love Julianne Moore, and I believe this was her first film, too. But anyway, so in this one, you got Steve Buscemi, who plays Edward Bellingham, and Bellingham, he reanimates this mummy. He brings this mummy back to life so he can murder his classmates, and they basically screwed him out of this scholarship. They ruined his chances of winning a scholarship. So he brings this mummy back to life, and Christian Slater is the brother of one of the classmates, and he's kind of on to what Steve Buscemi is cooking up. He's on to his scheme. So this is a really interesting story. It was based on an Arthur Conan Doyle story, and I really like the screenwriter who wrote this segment, Michael McDowell. He died really young, but he was the screenwriter who wrote Beetlejuice, and he also wrote the movie Thinner. But Michael McDowell, he was one of the best writers of, Gothic horror, and Stephen King always sung his praises. But this segment is really good. It's tight, it's suspenseful. All the characters are interesting, even though they're pretty detestable. Every one of the characters is a piece of shit, even Steve Buscemi. So if you really like tales of morality, this one's not for you. I will say, what makes it most watchable for me is obviously Julianne Moore and Christian Slater and Steve Buscemi. All the actors are just doing really fine work here. This is top-notch work. And they could have easily phoned it in because this is a genre movie. And, but everybody gave it their all. I mean, Steve Buscemi, I wish he'd done more horror movies because he's great in this. But Christian Slater, of course, he's always doing like his best Jack Nicholson impression, especially when he was younger. But Christian Slater delivers the goods in this. And Lot 249, it's got some good, gory sequences. Nothing that's too, over the top or grotesque. But it's a good little mummy tale, and like I said, I like Michael McDowell's writing. So Lot 249 comes in at number 2 on my ranking. Now number 1, and of course a lot of people are going to disagree with me on this because a lot of people find this one to be kind of slow and tonally like it doesn't belong with the rest of the movie. But I love Lover's Vow. It's my number 1 favorite now. When I was a kid, I used to think it was kind of a slog. I always wanted Lover's Vow to be over with. I wanted it to be done. I didn't know what the hell was going on until the end, really. And it just seemed like it was one of these adult stories that I couldn't jive with. I just, because I always thought Lot 249 was really entertaining, and I thought The Cat from Hell was insanely compelling, and, I wanted more stuff like that. I liked the schlock. I liked the silliness. I wanted the fun. Lover's Vow is not that fun. It's actually kind of downbeat. It's a little morose. It can be depressing at times. Ultimately, Lover's Vow is a tragedy. And it's about a struggling artist, played by James Remar from The Warriors. He was in 48 Hours. James Remar is awesome in this. And he plays a struggling artist who's attacked by this gargoyle one night, or he sees a gargoyle murder somebody, and it's a friend of his. And his life is spared as long as he promises never to reveal what he's seen that night. So all this is compromised, of course, when he meets a young woman and falls in love with her. And without giving too much away, he has trouble keeping his secret. If you guys seen it, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It has a really good ending, but it's very tragic. Like I said, very, very, very just downbeat. And, like I said, when I was a kid, I couldn't get down with it. But now I really love Lover's Vow. It's sad. When I watched it this time around, it was really sad. And I really like stories like that. The ones that are real poetic in a dark way. And this one was written by Michael McDowell too. And I believe it was based on some Japanese folklore or some shit. But Michael McDowell, he adapted that story. And I can't remember what this story is called. But I think it comes from the Kwaidan. But Michael McDowell, he's really good at writing this gothic horror. And I feel like he just captures the tone of this perfectly. And Rae Dawn Chong, who plays the young woman that James Remar falls in love with, she's phenomenal. She's great. Like, I love Rae Dawn Chong in Commando, and, I even like her in Soul Man. But, I mean, Lover's Vow is where it's at. Like, I don't know. There's something about it that just, I just connect with it more now than I ever have in my life. Like I said, when I was a kid, it was dull. But Lover's Vow is number 1 on my list. So that is it. That is my ranking for Tales from the Darkside, the movie. And if you guys haven't watched Tales from the Darkside, the TV show, I don't know what you're waiting on. You need to get on it, because this show, like, I have all the seasons on DVD. I don't know if they've released Tales from the Darkside on Blu-ray yet. Probably not. It'll probably just be stuck on DVD for a while. But that's fine. I want to say they recorded some of these on tape or something, so the resolution's probably not that great. But it doesn't matter. Tales from the Darkside, the DVDs still look great, and these are just really comfy, cozy, creepy stories to fall asleep to if you like anthologies. Me, I always turn this thing on at night and just let all the episodes play, and I just fall asleep to them. I like stuff like that. I like anthologies. I like Creepshow. I like Tales from the Crypt. I even like Tales from the Hood. But Tales from the Darkside, I do love it. And like I said, I'm going to keep the Blu-ray here. So I got the Blu-ray, got the 4K, and I just want to show this off really quick. I got this poster too, and I've already had it framed. I already got this son of a bitch framed. This is the Tales from the Darkside poster, the original poster. I'm trying to get it out of that spot gloss there. But yeah, that is it. Tales from the Darkside. If you guys like George Romero, if you enjoyed Creepshow, you'll like Tales from the Darkside. This was a movie that was directed by John Harrison, and John Harrison used to be George Romero's protege. He worked as a first AD on a couple of his films. I want to say maybe Creepshow and Day of the Dead. But John Harrison, he was also the composer for Creepshow and Day of the Dead. Like I said, he worked with Romero for a long time, and he actually directed some of the segments for the Tales from the Darkside TV show. So anyway, that's all I have to say about Tales from the Darkside. That is my ranking. I really love this movie, and again, I will say just pick up this 4K, because this 4K, I mean, it looks phenomenal. It was, like I said, they took it from the original camera negative, And you're going to see a lot of detail in this. So Scream Factory did a bang-up job on this. I highly recommend Tales from the Darkside. But that is it, guys. You've been listening to Rich with Red Phone Video. And until next time, take care, watch some awesome movies, stab the like button, and I will catch you in the next video.